Amazon FBA business, an overused term, admittedly even by myself. Why do I say this? Because simply using the Fulfillment by Amazon service is not a business. And if you think it is, you're going to lose. Let me explain. What's up, Empire Builders? JT Franco here. For those of you that don't know, I'm a six-figure Amazon seller. Here's my sales for the week. It's a little skewed because I am launching a product, but before the launch, it was at about 10K this week. So I've been getting flooded recently from people freaking out about Amazon cracking down on the non-verified reviews, right? They're asking how this is gonna affect their business. And it's got me thinking about how many people are seeing this FBA opportunity in the wrong light. Okay, I knew this guy that got into Amazon and he wanted to make an FBA business, right? And he got into the fidget spinner at the perfect timing. Now, this one product made him $80,000 to $100,000 in like 2 months. That's one product, right? And of course, he was high on life. He was all jacked up. He had this business that was insanely profitable, almost seemingly overnight. And then he got hijacked hard, right? So his listing got hijacked, and then 2 months later, his listing was removed by Amazon. And he went from like 300 sales a day to nothing. And it was all erased. Like everything he's ever worked on, gone, disappeared. And that is the danger of an Amazon FBA business. Because what's the moral of the story there? Is that Amazon is scary, Amazon sucks, run far, far away? No, it's that he missed a huge opportunity. In the time that he sold that product, I think he had like 18,000 sales in 2 months, right? But none of those customers were ever seen again after they bought the product the first time. What he could have done was, collected emails, created a website, created a social media following, and created a real brand, because that is what you are making. You are making a product brand and using Amazon as a service. You are not just making an Amazon brand. When you truly understand this, you will be miles ahead of 90% of the sellers on Amazon. This is how you have the highest price while your competition races to the bottom. This is how you keep hitting home runs when Amazon's throwing you curveballs, right? And this is how you have verified reviews day after day without having to beg for them. It's all about the brand, because Amazon changes rapidly. That's unavoidable. But you do not want to force yourself to be reactionary to all of the changes. In order to be stable, you need to be bigger. But how do you do this? How do you sell a brand in such a fast-paced and noisy marketplace? Well, first you need to understand that people buy things because of emotion and then justify with logic later, right? Like, why do you think people pay so much for Gucci, Lamborghini, Kylie Jenner? It's not because the goods, the physical products are worth that much more. It's because of an emotional attachment they have created with that brand. I used to play hockey. I was a goalie, right? There's nothing I wanted more in the world when I was a kid than Vaughn Velocity V5 goalie gear. It was the top of the line stuff, NHL level stuff, right? They were lighter, they were more protective, and they looked awesome. But of course, they were the most expensive. And to buy a full set, it would cost me or my parents $3,000. And at the time, that was more than my mom made an entire month. So I knew they weren't gonna get it for me. So that's when I decided to take matters into my own hands and try to earn the gear for myself. It took me 3 years of mowing lawns, saving birthday money, delivering newspapers to save up $2,000. And then my parents covered the rest, and I finally reached that goal. I got my V5s, and to my 15-year-old self's disbelief, they were not much better than the Simmons gear I was already using, right? So I was disappointed, but at the same time, I didn't really care that much because, they looked awesome, and everyone in my league, all the goalies in my league wanted them, okay? It was an emotional attachment, and that's what you need to create. Now, my emotional attachment to the V5 goalie gear was because my favorite NHL goalies were using them, right? And I wanted to be just like them.
But you don't need to go out there and, sponsor a professional sports team to do this. An emotional attachment can be created quite easily and fast by telling stories. Okay, you need to understand that people don't buy products, they buy stories, right? So how do you add emotion to a simple commodity like this Red Bull, right? How do you add emotion to a Red Bull? There's so many other energy drinks out there. Why do people buy Red Bull? Is it because it's the best, right? It gives you energy, keeps you awake, it keeps you focused. Is it the stats? Is that how they market Red Bull? No, that's not why you buy Red Bull. It's because it gives you wings, right? It's the simple story, these little cartoons, that ads that they put out. Red Bull gives you wings. These cartoon characters that did crazy things, and when they drank the Red Bull, they got wings. And that's how they sell it, because it's not about the facts, right? To quote Dan Locke, facts tell, stories sell. And that brings me to my next point. What are you telling these stories to? Are you telling it to Amazon, or are you telling it to people, right? Because so many new sellers are getting caught in this tunnel vision of, how can I stuff all the keywords into the title, into the description? How can I, trick the algorithm? How can I get around the rules? It's like they're selling to robots, right? And that's not the case. At the end of the day, that's not what matters. You're selling to people, right? You can't see it as every sale is just a number, right? Every sale is a person that you're connecting with. So you need to understand that you're selling to people, but more than that, you need to understand what person you're selling to. Be specific with your branding, because having a brand doesn't just mean you're selling similar products. It means you're selling to the same person. And there's a difference there. Don't just be an outdoor brand that does, sells tents, binoculars, swimming goggles, and a lawn chair, because those might be similar and related somewhat, but you're not targeting a specific person. You'd be better off doing like kids, kids camping gear or kids tent gear, right? Something specific, because being specific also opens up more opportunities. Because in that case, instead of going to a camping channel and telling them to promote your tent over all the millions of tents out there, you can go to like a blog for parents with active children and tell them that you have, tell them about your brand of tents that are just for kids and the other products within that, like kids air mattress and kids, camping fire starter. Probably not a kids fire starter. That's probably a bad idea, but you get the idea. Because instead of going to something broad for your niche, you know exactly who that person is, exactly who's gonna be buying that product, exactly where those people are, accumulating on the internet. Then you can target them from there, as opposed to just being like, oh, I sell tents, now I need to go talk to, outdoor.com. You're gonna get crushed out there, right? So being specific, knowing exactly who you're selling to, makes a big difference. Doing this will also allow you to raise your price, right? Because you'll be positioned as a premium brand. It's all about positioning, okay? And you'll get true fans that actually want to leave you a review. Now, the main thing I want you to get out of this video is that you will not be making an Amazon FBA business. You're gonna be making a physical products brand that uses Amazon as a service. Now, don't get me wrong. You can make killer money by just being on Amazon alone. But how will that do in the long term? Well, I don't know, because it's not predictable, right? You don't want to be at the mercy of Jeff Bezos's decisions. So by this point, I know there's going to be two camps of people that get to this point of the video. There's going to be one side that is excited about this way of looking at things because they see the opportunity. And there's going to be another side that is just frozen right now because they're a little scared of the scope of this. Now, if you're frozen and you're a little scared, don't worry, because I'm not saying you need to go out there and create a website and create a huge following and do all this, start writing stories for your brand identity. That's not what I'm saying. If you're in product research or you're in the startup phase, still pursue Amazon FBA as the main focus, right? Learn the Amazon FBA business model. And the only idea here is that when you get a successful product, When you find your successful niche, then you spread, right? Don't try to worry about everything at once because it's all steps. Success is sequential. It's like the domino effect, right? Focus on the FBA business model. Master it, be great at it, build a great audience just through Amazon, and then start collecting emails, and then start, building a website, and then, have your social media following and a separate audience, and branch out from there. Add products that are selling to the same person that your first product is. Okay, so don't get afraid, don't get scared. Continue on as you have been. The only idea of this was to give you the idea that eventually, when you get there, you're going to need to branch out, right? You're going to need to spread, right? You're gonna need to spread your wings. So that's it. I hope this did help you and kind of give you a bigger grasp on what your mission should be here. It shouldn't be an Amazon business. It should be a physical products business. So if this did help you, I would go ahead, appreciate it if you would share the video, help someone else, right? Leave a like, help me. Don't forget to subscribe again to become an empire builder. And what's an empire builder? Every single one of you that's grinding every day, every night to build your very own empire. But most importantly, you never give up because you know that your empire awaits. I'm JT Franco, and I'll see you guys later.
I am made to be free.